This is where the story really starts.
Weapons is a slow-burn, small-town horror mystery told through an unsettling, non-linear lens. But does its layered storytelling and thematic ambition make it more than just a puzzle box of scares? Today I'm breaking it down. No scores, just honest thoughts on the performances, visuals, story and themes. So, here's my take. This is the second feature film from director Zach Cregger, his first being Barbarian, a surprise hit that's already being talked about as one of the standout horror films of the decade. Now, while I liked Barbarian, I personally found the early mystery far more compelling than the eventual reveal. Once the twist landed, the momentum fizzled out for me, and the characters, while fine, never hooked me on a deeper level. Weapons, though, is a very different experience. The mystery is more gripping, and more importantly, is better told. The story peels back in layers, and just when you think you're piecing it together, the film throws in a new question that deepens the intrigue rather than diffusing it. It's a more confident, tightly constructed film overall, and one that I found myself far more invested in. Going in, I knew next to nothing beyond the basic premise, and honestly, this week it was either review this or Freakier Friday, and I'd rather walk barefoot across a floor made of Lego than sit through that, so the choice was pretty easy. So, what's Weapons actually about? One night, a group of children from the same school and the same classroom run out of their homes and vanish. Gone. No explanation. This is established right away, so rather than stringing us along with the will they or won't they disappear tension, the film smartly focuses on the aftermath, how this unspeakable event ripples through everyone in the town. We meet the young school teacher, blamed by the community because it was her class that vanished, the father, desperate to find his son, the only boy in the class who didn't disappear, and other residents whose lives intersect with the tragedy in surprising ways. The story is told non-linearly, each chapter centering on one of these characters. It's the kind of structure that could easily become a confusing gimmick, but here, it works beautifully. The timeline shifts feel purposeful, every perspective adds a new piece to the puzzle, and the editing keeps things sharp and easy to follow without spoon-feeding you. The ensemble cast is excellent. Julia Garner, Josh Brolin, B.D. Wong, Alden Ehrenreich, Austin Abrams, every one of them delivers grounded, believable performances. No one feels like a plot device. These are real, textured people with relationships and history, which makes the horror hit harder when it strikes. Special mention to the child actors also, who manage to be completely convincing without tipping into the over-the-top melodrama or movie kid quirks. When it comes to horror, Cregger shows he has genuine grasp of the craft. The film's scariest moments aren't about cheap jump scares, but the way he uses silence, framing, and pacing to let tension build until it's unbearable. That slow burn discomfort pays off again and again. And unexpectedly, it's also funny. Not jokey funny, like did that just happen funny, but grounded humour that comes naturally from character interactions. It's never used to undercut the fear. Just to, give the audience a breath before plunging them back into the dread. Pulling off that tonal balance in horror is very tough, but Weapons nails it. Beneath the scares, the film explores grief and the way trauma seeps into the fabric of the community. There's a strong thematic undercurrent about how people live with guilt, loss, and unanswered questions. Some of these ideas are richer than others though. There's a recurring metaphor that I won't spoil, but it's brought up enough that you expect it to tie more strongly into the story, yet it never fully clicks. It's the kind of thing that might make more sense on a second viewing, but on first watch, it felt like a half-developed idea. Then there's the ending. The central mystery is resolved in a satisfying way, but the film kinda just stops almost immediately afterward. It feels abrupt, like it didn't quite know how to land emotionally. And while I don't mind the runtime overall, there are one or two scenes that could have been trimmed without losing anything vital. Still, those are relatively small issues in what I think is a tense, engaging and well-acted mystery that cements Cregger as one of the more exciting modern horror directors. So, those are my thoughts on Weapons, but now I want to hear yours. Have you seen Weapons? Do you prefer it to Barbarian? How do you feel about the ending? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.